This isn't just any normal edition of NFL Primetime on ESPN Plus. This is playoff edition of Primetime on ESPN Plus. And this isn't just wild card edition on NFL Primetime of ESPN Plus. This is Super Wild Card Weekend, ESPN Plus, NFL Primetime. That's a mouthful, and I can't do all that by myself. And so we bring in, and I'm looking forward to working with him, the better-looking brother, Tim Hasselbeck. And Tim, playoff football, we made it here this far. What a nice way to start the new year. Good to be with you.
Great to be with you, and Bills in the postseason boom. I can't think of anyone else I'd rather spend a day like today with.
Right here, right now, where would you rather be? That would be the question. Well, we'll have some fun. We got 3 games for the first time. We got 7 seeds, and who, certainly could have won the game. But let's start with someone who has hardly ever been to the playoffs. Tom Brady, of course. I'm kidding. That would be his 42nd playoff game. And FedEx Field, where you positively, absolutely have to get there overnight. Alex Smith, unfortunately, could not play for the football team for Washington. And so Taylor Heinicke, second start ever 2 years ago for Ron Rivera when he was at Carolina. And that's a pick by Sean Murphy. Bunting ball was tipped.
Ball was tipped to the line of scrimmage, just doesn't find a throwing lane, and kind of a rough way for Heinicke to start.
Well, you know what? He dug in, but then again, he's up against Tom Brady. Scotty Miller, 15 yards, Tampa Bay. His 42nd playoff game. 43 years young. Few plays later. Brady, Antonio Brown, and Timmy, he is wide open.
He's wide open. Washington's trying to get creative to fool Tom Brady. They get caught in their disguise, and that's why Antonio Brown is left free. Brady's able to find him.
So 9-0 Bucks missed the extra point. Washington. And you got to admit, Heinicke could move. He knows Rivera and the offense, and he put trust in him. And guess what? In this scene, on this stage, he had composure. Later in the drive, 3rd and goal, the only Seahawk offensive player that looked good on this day, J.D. McKissick. Problem? Playing for Washington, not Seattle, Washington. Down 9-7. That game comes later. Now Brown, end around. Boy, are he and Tom and the Bucks having fun. 22 yards. Then a few plays later, 1st and 10. Brady, time. Line did a really good job against all those stud pass rushers. Chris Godwin, 27 yards. Touchdown, Tim, 18-7.
Boom, you called it. Started with good pass protection, but Darby gets beat because he thinks Godwin's running a shallow cross. He gets vertical. Brady finds him.
So 18-7 at the half. Washington trying to chip away with a field goal. And Tampa, now Jones was hurt before the game. A lot of Fournette. And then here's Keyshawn Vaughn. Uh-oh! John Bostic recovers. Washington's defense trying to keep him in there. Darren Payne knocking it out.
What a punch out, just right on the football. That's well done. The rookie fumbles.
The year of the punch out. A lot more than, Peanut Tillman only this year. That's for sure, Timmy. 3rd and 5 now from the Bucks 8. And watch this play by Taylor Heinicke. And did I say Heinicke? Or did I say, open up a 6-pack of Heineken? Yes! That's a beautiful run right at the pylon like he started like 20 of these games, right?
It's incredible. One of the best plays we've seen all season long, and it comes from Taylor Heinicke. One of the biggest moments of this year so far. Incredible play by anybody, much less the guy who's forced into action. Chase Young even likes it.
Yeah, hey, that's his name. Remember it. Down 18-16, they go for 2. Yeah, that's not quite going to make it. Thomas is not able to convert, but Washington in the game. Early 4th quarter, 21-16. They held them only to a field goal, did the football team from Washington. Heinicke on 3rd down and 9. Uh-oh, don't tell me now he's hurt. Alex Smith, street clothes. Heinicke taken to the locker room. Hurt. It was 3rd down, so they punted, but uh-oh. Head back. He headed to the locker room, shoulder injury, but you know what? He would end up not missing any plays. But what he did miss while he was in there was Tom Brady doing his thing. Mike Evans doing his thing down to the 5. And then, I told you Jones was hurt pregame. Leonard Fournette in there. 28-16 the Bucks. Under 5 minutes to go now in the 4th quarter. Here he comes. Heineke, he's back. The legend began on this night in the nation's capital. Heineke, the Sims Jr. touchdown. Brady says, no. They took a long look at this, but the call stood.
And it should stand. It was a tremendous throw coming in out of the locker room. He continued to put pressure on the Bucs.
So now field goal makes it 31-23, but still just one score at 4th and 21. A miracle? Not quite. Double coverage knocked the ball down. And Tom Brady, Buccaneers. And you know what? He salutes the Washington quarterback. Washington played valiantly. There's no question about it. But Tampa, unless they run into something really, really tough on defense, they're going to score like this. The Bucs win 31-23, their first win since they won the Super Bowl, first postseason win 2002. So that would be 18 years. You know what? Tampa happy to advance. Bruce Arians, he knows quarterbacks, and he likes what he saw across the field.
He was very elusive. We knew he was going to scramble around. There was going to be bootlegs and scrambles, and we really hoping for Alex because we knew that part of the game wasn't going to be in there. And he got out of some really good spots, and he made some really good plays. He had a lot of poise. We were tackling worth the whole game, and we finally got him when it mattered. And I don't think it was best our defense has played in a long. I mean, it was terrible up until the last 8 minutes.
Well, the good thing with Bruce is he never tells you what he really feels. Couple of notes here, Tim, and we'll start with Tom Brady, but he now passes, and I watched this game, okay? George Blanda was the oldest to throw a touchdown pass in the postseason. That was the Oakland Raiders during the 1970 postseason. He had that unbelievable year. Tom, by a couple of months, is older than him. How do we think he looked in the postseason for the first time wearing a uniform other than the Patriots?
I thought he looked great. Now, he benefited from some good pass protection, but I thought he looked comfortable. Really kind of a continuation of what we saw at the end of the season from him, which was, pretty good command of what they want to do offensively. And I think it was, pretty obvious that the arm strength still there, plenty of arm to get it to those talented wide receivers that they have.
The Bucs overall, because look, they're going to be moving on, and as we do this show, we don't know who they're going to play, so no need for conjecture. How do you think the Bucs of Bruce was not happy with tackling at all? Obviously, there's room for improvement, but overall, can they be a force that can keep this going?
I think they can, Boom, because you said it. They'll be able to score. The question is, can they come up with enough stops? Can they come up with a punch out? Can they do something on defense, especially when you're playing offenses that aren't led by Taylor Heineke? Can you do something to get the job done to give Brady and that offense another chance? So it really, I think, comes down to, can they make a stand when they need to against some of the better offenses in the league?
Hey, real quick, I know, Washington, it was long odds, obviously, but Ron Rivera, cancer, Alex Smith, who didn't play, but them being here, and I have no problem with a home game. If you win the division, that's the way it goes. Those are the rules. Everybody knows them. They earned a lot of points around this league and around America, I think, the last month or two, don't you think?
Boom, I think you're exactly right. So much respect for the job that Ron Rivera's done with what he's gone through. And then to think about this team's performance against a Tom Brady-led team with, a guy that was signed off the street and battled to the very end, I think in some ways is a pretty good representation of the team Ron Rivera has.
Well, and so Washington out, Tampa moves on, and now we move on to Orchard Park, New York, because the Buffalo Bills, for the first time in, a long time, how about a quarter of a century? That would be 1995. They were at home and won a playoff game. 1996 was the last time they had a playoff game there. So it was such a rich history in the early 90s especially, and the game that no one will forget, the greatest comeback of all time, and that was Frank Reich in 1992, the wild card game, trailing Houston 35-3. Jim Kelly, of course, couldn't play because he was hurt, down 35-3 in the second half. Don Beebe, Andre Reed, they were all catching them. The Bills came from behind. They ended up winning in overtime. They got an onside kick. I mean, you could not imagine Warren Moon, Hall of Famer, Houston, the Oilers, Frank Reich. He was all right. And guess who was back on this day? Maybe Bills fans are hoping, no, don't. We love you, Frank. Don't do it to us. He's coaching the Indianapolis Colts. And Phillip Rivers, would this be the last time we'd see him? Could he beat Josh Allen? Well, Josh Allen early on. Hey, Tim, that was the design run, but all of a sudden Dawson Knox is there, and the 6,700 who are in there going, wow, this guy's done this all year.
You're exactly right. Design run, but lineman not downfield, and so Josh just heads up play, finds Dawson Knox. 6
completions to 6 different receivers early in the game. Bills lead 7-3 till Jonathan Taylor, the rookie, ran really well, punched it in from 1. It's 10-7 Indianapolis. 3rd and 2. The Colts leading Rivers to Mo Alley Cox, and now they're in business deep down to the 4. They ended up 1st and goal. Now on 3rd and goal. The pitch to Taylor, but the Bills are there to stop it. And now 4th and goal from the 4. To about 2 minutes to go in the first half. Frank Reich decides we're gonna go for it. And it's just a little far to Michael Pittman. We'll discuss it later. No problem with the gamble, because what the heck? The Bills really had tough field position all day. This drive began at the 4. How does Allen and Gabriel Davis do this? This is ridiculous, right?
Yeah, it's just a great sense to escape outside the pocket and then to throw down the field because of the arm strength. Good job working the sideline by Davis. That one stands.
And they looked at it, and there was a good replay call. Another close but good replay call. And this is going to be a 96-yard drive, which Allen keeps himself. And so instead of trailing maybe by 10, the Bills are up 14-10 at the half. Phillip completed a 3rd and 6. He completed a 3rd and 5, but behind Pittman on 3rd and 7. And now they bring in the fine rookie kicker, Rodrigo O'Darn. You've sunk my blankenship. And doink! 33-yarder, no good. And the Bills, well, they take over on downs. Tough miss off the upright. Bills lead 17-10 early 4th quarter. Bills pick up the blitz. Allen out of the gun. Another play to Stephon Diggs. Really? Wow. 24-10. Now, Colts, as the Bills having fun, all of a sudden the Colts, they're scoring in like 2.5 minutes. Long drive, Nyheim Hines. Not the ketchup, but a great young runner, 29 yards, all the way down to Bills territory at the 46. Then, 3rd and 4. Rivers threw the ball really well on this day, Tim. That's Zach Pascal for a touchdown.
Yeah, it was well protected. Pascal just running a little drag across, and he was able to find him. You're right, they were scoring quickly.
So they're going for 2 down 8. I'm all right with it. Not the orthodox, but it's okay. But Taylor snuffed. And so it's a one-score game, but it's 24-16. 8-point lead. Bills have kicked a field goal. Tyler Bass, longest field goal ever postseason by a rookie. He kicked a 54-yarder. Rivers to Jack Doyle, and what a game he had. 27-22, and Rivers goes to Doyle for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, tight ends are big for the Colts on this day. Rivers finds Doyle again for the 2-point in the back of the end zone.
So, 27-24, Josh Allen. Can we run out the clock? Can we get another score? Allen, gun. Oh no! Don't tell me, did he go out through the strip sack? The ball is loose. Darrell Williams, Johnny on the spot for the Bills, number 75. They lost 17, but they could punt rather than give Indianapolis the ball, but Rivers has a chance. 50 seconds left. Down by 3, 27-24. Rivers, Pascal. Now he gets up to try to make something of it, and then Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, I should say, Matt Milano, they strip. But what happens? They took a look, replay, even though he might have been up and starting to run when the strip, they called that it was the Colts' ball and the knee down stand. Now, Sean McDermott calls timeout, so this is a non-play. You know that Phillip is going, wait a minute. But McDermott called it just before the snap. And so then, a couple plays later, it's down to the last play of the game. Even at the Bills, don't say Hail Mary. They know what, knock it down. They do it. Micah Hyde knocks it down. And the Buffalo Bills have won for the first time in postseason in 25 years. How sweet it is, and there's the youngster and the veteran. You don't think the Bills fans are emotional about this? Oh my goodness. Each of the Bills fans in the 6,700 said, we each one have to scream for 10 people. They tried their best. Tell you what, Frank Reich almost came in and authored another comeback. They wouldn't have liked that one, but the Bills win 27-24, and they will have another home game next week with Josh Allen at the controls.
It was crazy. I mean, for the team to, or for, fans to be allowed and experience that with this team, it would have been a shame if we couldn't do that. I don't think guys really understand the meaning and the impact of, winning a playoff game for this franchise. But at the same time, I think we're not in tune to that because we want to win more. One's not good enough for us, and we got to go find out a good way to put our best foot forward this week and try to go execute next week.
I'm very grateful to get the win as a head coach, but I think I'm more happy for our team and our fans and Terry and Kim and all the people that have worked so hard even before we got here.
A few too many self-inflicted wounds here and there, but you're going up against a good football team, and so hats off to them. They played a good game, but at the end of the day, what I said to the guys in there, I'm awfully proud of our team.
Well, first of all, that was a really, really good football game, and not often that a 7th seed, they're not normally in the playoffs, like ever. The 7th seed was 11-5, Tim, but we'll get back to Indianapolis in a moment. Josh Allen, this wasn't news. There were a few plays that we couldn't show. Maybe you have, but flat-footed, winging it 30 yards, some of the other. He's as fun to watch as anybody in the league. I know we have Patrick Mahomes and we have Aaron Rodgers, but wow. He feels, and the Bills feel he can do anything.
Yeah, and he feels like when you watch him that he's in the same class because of some of the things he can do. As you said, boom, flat-footed, just physically he's so talented. But he also has got a great understanding, about just kind of what the defense is trying to do and the problems that arise. Here's Kenny Moore's coming off the slot in the bottom. They blitz their protection. Josh wants to throw this hot to Singletary. He's trying to get to him, but he doesn't have a throwing lane. So his ability to bring the football down, escape to his left outside the pocket, and then find Stephon Diggs for the first down on a 2nd and 15 is a remarkable play. It seemed like he knew it as well. The reality is you can have the perfect play call defensively against him, but he's able to play kind of above the X's and O's. That's one of the things that makes this team pretty special.
Well, let me come in here a little bit more with Buffalo. Look, Josh Allen wasn't born when they won that playoff game in '95, and neither were some of his teammates. 3 years ago, he wasn't even on the Bills when the McDermott, first time Bills made playoff in a long time, made the playoffs, lost to Jacksonville. A year ago, we know they led 16-0 Houston, lost overtime. So it's only a couple losses for this group, but to knock down the door, to do it for the first time, I want to give the Colts full credit, but maybe that was part of, you can't exhale till you've done it once, and that part of the reason why this game was so tight. Now the door is open for the Bills. Do you see it that way, Tim? I do.
Well, boom, I look at the emotion in the stands after the game. I think the heavy emotions, the fan base certainly is not lost on some of those players when you hear Josh talk after the game. Completely aware of what, that city and organization have been through. And so, yeah, that was a big, breakthrough moment. There's no question about it. And they did it on their quarterback's shoulders.
Well, and look, real quick, and you can jump in a minute, and then we'll go to what may be the end. Look, I had no problem with Frank Reich. People, he shouldn't have gone for it. They could have been up 17-7, and the Bills, they had one drive thus far, but they hadn't proven to be able to go the length of the field. I know it ended up backfiring. Real quick, you with me on that, or do you think Frank wants that decision back? He should have kicked the field goal at the end of the half.
Well, I think Frank probably loves the call, Boom. You said it in the highlight. They got him open. They had Pittman open, and Phillip just misfired on it. And so I think when you look at that, it's easy to second guess now, but they had the right call and really should have come away with a touchdown.
Well, Phillip played a really good game. He threw the ball well, and after the game, quite emotional.
it was a heck of a team to be a part of. So certainly disappointing finish like this when you just believe it's the year, and I think that's the competitor in me. I've never not believed it was the year, but it was a special team to be a part of. Whatever God's will is for me and my family, if it's here in Indy Player of the Year, then we'll be here. And if it's not, I'll be on a sideline somewhere. I know where. I'll be on the sideline with the Ballcat, coaching the heck out of a high school football team down in South Alabama.
Look, he has done everything but get to and win a Super Bowl. I know there are others in that, Eli and Ben in that class, et cetera. But Phillip Rivers, Tim, and you played the position, you can speak better to it than me, but you can't root for Phillip Rivers, you can't root for anybody. One leg in that championship game in 2007 at New England for San Diego. 37 and a half miles he's thrown in the National Football League. And his fire, game one, and if this is the last game, still apparent on this day.
I got chills listening to him talk there, Boom. With those emotions, that's how you're supposed to compete. That's how fans of your team want you to compete. And I think it's clear, whether, as you said, playing on a torn ACL or just, any random week 6 of a season, that's how he played. And I know I have a lot of appreciation for what he was able to accomplish, if that was the end.
5th all-time regular season touchdown passes and yards. I mean, we could go on and on and on. And among the best ever with fire. Well, now, speaking of fire, but this is going to be firing up defensive-wise. Now, we go out to kind of the rubber game in the NFC West because the Rams and Seahawks know each other so well. And guess what? Jared Goff dressed, but with the thumb injury and a bad one, John Wolford, Wake Forest, going to start in this playoff game at the NFC West champ Seattle. Jamal Adams get the hit, and Wolford had to leave. He would not return to the game. And so, look, Jared Goff is the starter, but 2 weeks ago he had 3 pins put in the thumb. I don't really know how he was attempting to throw, and then it didn't matter here on this play because Jaron Reed sacks him. Rams had to settle for field goal 3-0. Russell Wilson, this was his day. Aaron Donald, are you kidding me? I mean, Aaron Donald gives him and the Seahawks just more than the chills. It's like a Halloween horror movie. Wilson, DK Metcalf, takes the big hit, and that's incomplete. Seattle frustrated, but it's still one of these, we call them, Timmy, blackjack games. Hit me. Unless you have a face card showing, nobody's scoring much. Goff, though, steps up. And how does Cooper Kupp make this catch? Because he's really a great player.
He is, and Jamal Adams is there to make a play on it. Just a better adjustment to the football by Cooper Kupp.
Rams settle for field goal 6-3, so it's going to be one of those, right? I mean, it's going to be one of those games. Metcalf, Wilson, fine. Not fine here, though. Darius Williams, Rams defense, second straight week, a pick 6, 42 yards, 2 receivers over there. There had to be at least one defender.
And Freddie Swain just doesn't, aggressively attack Williams hard enough to get the block on him. And Sean McVay's running about as fast as Williams to the end zone.
He understood. Hey, the way our defense is playing, we're up 13-3. Wilson under pressure, 4 minutes to go in the half. He does this. It kind of comes down the chimney like your brother says, Matt. How did he find Metcalf?
I mean, this is crazy to be sprinting to your left, being chased like that, to put that ball in the air. Great adjustment by Metcalf, seeing his quarterback in trouble, but what a throw.
13-10. 3 minutes to go in the half, 3rd and 9, LA. Goff. And Cam Akers. 2nd round pick. What a player he's been, Florida State. Down the sideline, 30 yards. Look at the footwork as we check him out. He never did go out. Now, Akers. Man, I used to call David Akers Green Acres, so I don't know that I can go, yeah, I can't. I'm dating ourselves. Akers caps it off from the 5. There was a penalty. It's a touchdown. 20-10 Rams at the half. The Rams have 20 points. And the way this defense is playing, forget it. Aaron Donald hits Wilson. But Russell might have had Metcalf there. Donald comes up holding his ribs he would leave.
But it was that pressure that made Wilson miss the throw, though.
Yep. But Donald, even when injured, made a huge impact. He's unreal. 23-13 Rams fourth quarter, punting to Seattle. And here, I was in the room saying, if Seattle can get a big return by DJ Reed, they're in business. Uh-oh, it's the other way. Micah Kaiser recovers it for the Ram. Bucom makes the hit. He's a good player. Remember him from the Super Bowl number 50.
And that's another punch out. We see it. Just these guys going in for the tackle, punching at the football. Good play for that special teams unit.
So now the Rams trying to end it. Goff, Robert Woods, I think he's open, Tim.
Wide open, hard play action, run across zones, and that's wide open. Nice play design and call by Sean McVay.
Seattle finally scores again, Wilson and Metcalf, but just in case you forgot, this is what Russell Wilson saw all day. This time, it's Leonard Floyd, his second sack. And in the 3 games against Seattle this year, Floyd has sacked Wilson 7 times. That's ridiculous. The final, the Rams go in and win the rubber match when it really counts, making Seattle offensively just, well, they look inept, although there was a pretty good reason. The top-ranked defensive football played just like it. The Rams, as the 6th seed, are moving on, winning 30-20.
Thought John was really getting ready to get into a rip, and then Jared stepped in, handled things incredibly well. You could see, just battled, but I was really pleased with his effort. And you could just see, this is a guy you're talking about had thumb surgery a couple weeks ago. It's almost like deja vu, except for I just feel a little bit happier right now.
It's not 100% because it had surgery 10 days ago or 12 days ago, whatever, but it's in a good place, and I'm very capable with what I got going on right now.
You get rushed like that, get sacked 5 times, and against that group, it's just tough. And they made it, this is no surprise. This is how they played against other people. We needed to keep this game like we played them last time.
I hate this feeling, obviously, but we felt like we had a chance today. When the game was, you were down by 7, we had a couple penalties. I think I had that long run, and then we got a penalty, and we got backed up, and next thing you know, the game flipped. Where we felt like we was a little bit out of reach, and then we still went after. We still kept believing. We were down 17, kept coming, try to find a way, and they just made more plays than us.
Russell, classy, but that's the look you have after you played the number 1 ranked defense in yards, Tim, the number 1 ranked defense in points, just to drive it home. This is football not played by anyone else these days with the Rams. That's the 11th time in 17 games an opponent has gained less than 300 yards, LO. And it's the 10th time in 17 games that an opponent has scored 20 or less. They're unique, aren't they, the way they played today and the way they can play defense?
They're unique, and they are for real. They have playmakers at every level of the defense, and I think that's, what makes them so special is because, we're going to talk about Aaron Donald, and probably should talk a little bit more about Leonard Floyd as well. But that matches with, how they're playing in the secondary. And obviously we're going to talk about Jalen Ramsey, but how about Williams with a pick 6 in a critical game? So it's every level of their defense that they can make you pay. So much speed, and they really showed us against Seattle today.
I mean, this is a year in which defense is kind of not a team's normal calling card, but they still now have a question. And, we can go to the Rams because we're running out of time here. But Seattle, this was the team that for the first 2 months offensively was unreal. Never got it together offensively, really, last 2 months. And if you went up against the Rams like they did, it was really going to show. Kind of a shocking U-turn, huh?
It was, and I think they just asked too much of Russell Wilson. And, I think defensively as well, they kind of need to give him a little bit more support.
Well, look, I thought for a while we were watching Deacon Jones and Merlin Olsen, or let's bring it a little more, Jack Youngblood and Hacksaw Reynolds, and I could go on and on and on. Fred Dreyer, I mean, we could go on and on and on, but these Rams mean business, and we mean business on the show. You want to do another one tomorrow? You do. You do want to do another one tomorrow, Tim. You and I together, Tim Hasselback, Chris Berman, Saturday, Super Wild Card Weekend NFL Primetime. Hope you had fun.